Hi everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully everybody's doing good. Um, I'm back again with another video. Um, if you've been following the series, you know what time it is. It's another week. It's another week of letting y'all know that we're still on it. We're still on the trying to get funded journey. And obviously we know it has to go in phases, right? I'm still on my first phase trying to pass it, but obviously it's not gonna be as smooth as we would want it to. As you can see, from the 17th of November, I've been taking straight L's. It has been a streak of just L's, losses, right? But I don't call them losses, I call them lessons, right? And they're well managed. They're well managed. It's the average loss is $20, give or take, right? $20, give or take. And obviously with the profits, it just like, it varies. We have $60, 35, 80. You can even go back. I had like a literal winning streak, right? I've had my days. I've had my days and everything, man. So when days like this come by, when it gets to be read a little bit, I'm not shaken because I know that okay, there's a random distribution of wins and losses. But then as long as my losses are kept under control, I'm good. It only takes those one, two, three trades for me to actually pass this challenge. But then I also have to be very careful with how I pick my trades because right now it's not the perfect time to trade. As I said on the previous video, that the sentiment in the markets right now is just okay. The big money is not is out the markets. The big money is out. They took their monies, all the hedge funds, all the big players. They're out somewhere in the islands sipping on cocktails and everything, spending our money that we lose in the markets and stuff. Which is cool, which is totally fine, right? But if you trade during this period, you have to be extremely careful. You're gonna be trading with you're literally trading with people, like you trading with retail traders. That's it. And that's why the charts are moving slow. There's no big boy of money, and the patterns are most likely to play out because it's just retail traders. And as retail traders, we know what we see, and that's what we're gonna see in the markets for this period is what you've been taught, whatever you've read on your textbook. It's like public information. There's no plot twist and everything. So I still stand on that. So I'm gonna break down the trade that I took um last week. It was the AUDJPY buy, this $19 loss right here. And the gold one, useless 20 cents. I might even break that one down to AUDJPY. I left it on the chart. It's fine. So boom. And if you are really paying attention, you will see that I had a trade like this previously. If you go back to uh my previous videos, I think the most previous video, no, the most recent, I have a trade like this. I just don't learn, right? So boom, what I was trading was this blue zone right here, because if you look at it, you'll see that it acted as a support here, and this support pushed price to this area, to make this high, right? And then price came back, obviously broke out. But then whenever it acted as a support, it made good highs. Even though this high didn't break the previous one, but then they are on the same level and their supports are also on the same zone. So when price was playing around this area, I was expecting the same thing. I was expecting the same push. Considering that we also had like let me remove this because it was way before this. Um, Considering that we even had a young pattern that was playing out, so I was like, man, if anything, this blue zone is going to hold. even though it gets broken a little bit, but then as soon as price comes back and closes above this zone, I'm entering my buys, and that's when I entered. My stop loss was right below the black solid line, which represents the previous high, right? And it also represents my stop loss was also set based on this right here. This young zone, young support that was like too precise. So I was like, if I'm not getting anything like this, then I'm invalidated. And it wasn't none of that. So I got invalidated. Stop loss, 21 pips is not that bad. And it was a 3.5, 1:3.5. So I took a cool L, but then I was just like, okay, I was not really touched about it because I understood that it's totally normal for my edge to not hold sometimes, as long as the loss is manageable. So yeah, that's the loss. That's the ADJPY loss. As for the gold, I think I removed everything. I removed everything. And I didn't record it because I didn't journal it because as you saw, it was nothing. It was literally break even. I entered early, and I think there was news on the day. I think it was the CP. Was it the CPI? On a Thursday. Was it a Thursday? I think it was on Thursday. And I thought the entry I took was gonna be an in and out, that impulsive move, just even if it rejects, it's gonna be just by my TP and then I'm out. But then it doesn't play out like that. So I was like, okay, whatever it does, because I don't usually trade news, but then I was like, whatever the news do at this point, my stop loss is at break even. And yeah, my stop loss was hit. So yeah, that's it from me this week. Um, I'm down. How many percent? Uh, Let me see. I'm 5.78%. Uh, it's not a good feeling, yeah. One thing about it is not a good feeling because, mind you, we came from 7.41%, right? Like that was like I'm I damn near past the challenge, $30 away, but man, um you'll never predict what the market does, and I think this is a test, to test my psychology, because it's not easy to play by the book and be like, okay, I'm still gonna play by my rules and only trade my edge. Let me just take that one risky trade with a big lot size, and then I will close as soon as I'm in profits. I don't want to pass my challenge like that because that's not gonna be sustainable. Like it's like I'm forgetting that I'm trading to pass a challenge that I'm going to be trading to get payouts from. Like that's a whole lot of trading. That's a long-term thing, So if I cannot write it down, if I cannot like track down the edge that made me pass the challenge, then what am I doing? I'm losing the whole point of passing the challenges, right? So that's my approach to it. I'll take my time, because I don't have any time limit, and the psychology that I have is really just like, you know um I'm going with whatever the charts are giving me. I'm only gonna trade my edge. I know what a good setup looks like. I've took good trades on the same challenge. I can look back on my journal and be like, okay, I can spot good trades. So when I don't see good trades, I'm not gonna now enter just because I'm trying to pass the challenge. Because at the end of the day, I won't even be able to explain how I passed, and like how I um got the challenge, and I still have to trade the challenge to even pass phase two and even get a payout. So I think that is the hack right there, guys. Prop firm challenges are not difficult to pass, so they are not impossible, but then the mindset is everything. If you're doing it just to be aggressive and get an account just to say I'm a funded trader, I got a certificate, I mean, you could do that. What are the odds? The odds can be in your favor to say, okay, I'm gonna take a couple of trades, this lot size, and then if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. With no proper edge, just like straight chasing the target and like just trying to put a time limit on yourself. That's a way of doing it. I mean, there's a lot of people that do it that way, but what's the opportunity cost? Like, what if you are wrong this one time and you loaded up your entry and it's just like that one trade that's gonna violate the rules of their account, and then now you need to start over, so there's no secret to passing these things, man. It's just you have to have a solid mindset, know what you're in it for, and you'll be good. I mean, it's not bad. 5.78%. It's not like I'm down 5.78%. I'm up. It's just like a matter of taking those trades to take you to, to make you pass the challenge. But at this point, I've never been in no crazy drawdown. If anything, I'm currently in the drawdown, like holistically, because ever since I started, it's been up. It has been up, and my watermark is really what's pissing me off, because it's like I was just literally $30 away, and now I'm just like swaying further and further from the target. But we're gonna get that spike. We're gonna get that spike to the target. And I don't want to pressure myself and say this week. It's just like a matter of showing up and doing what I do best, right? Because being a risk manager at the end of the day is part of trading. It's a huge part of trading, if anything. So yeah, appreciate you guys for watching till this point. I'm still watching AUD It's my favorite pair. But then I think CAD JPY is gonna take its place, because CAD JPY has been treating me well. All the winning streaks that I've had, it was from this CAD JPY pair. With the AUD JPY, I miss it sometimes. I either get in too early, or I just miss trades, or I don't just, it's always something with it, because I realized that on Friday I actually missed this trade right here. Was it this one? Is it this one? We had 3 touches on this resistance. Let me make it solid that you see it. 3 touches, and I was waiting on it, but then the problem I had was that I had this arrowed line right here. This is where I thought the liquidity was at, because as you can see, we had our first touch here, a young supply zone. The second touch, I expected the third touch to be a little bit of a manipulation, just to, be a fake out, break out of the arrowed line and come back. I was going to be convinced that, okay, that's a confluence for the drop, because now it's a manipulation to the sellers by the line who are waiting for the third touch. And it's also like, there's enough liquidity to drop, because the sellers that were entering this type of resistance right here, let me make it solid also. Obviously they have their entries here, and they have the stop losses a bit up there. So with their stop losses being swept by the spike, we're gonna have enough liquidity to drop. But hey, it didn't happen that way. But the line still held, the resistance still held. And yeah, the drop really started happening in the early mornings in the early hours of Monday. So let me not beat up myself. And I know I don't trade on even though I saw this candle, because I was still up at 1 a.m. I don't trade during those hours, no matter how much I have, like no matter what setup I have. I know that I don't trade on Mondays, especially the early mornings. I start taking my trades on Tuesdays. So the trades that I'm going to be looking at this week, I have CAD-JPY. If it really breaks this line and breaks the red line and then drops, because it's a range, right? It's a cooler range on a bullish market, right? So what I'm trying to catch is this the move to the support of the range, and then whatever happens after that, I don't care. I'll just see what it does. I'll react to it, because I don't think price is about to break to the downside of the range. I don't think CAD-JPY is ready to drop. I don't know, because all in all, there's a bigger picture of this now. Price trying to go make the dead touch on the resistance, because it has made 2 touches on the support of the weekly range. So yeah, we'll just see, man. We'll just see what happens. But my entry, I'm very specific with my entries, and during this period, ever since I started trading in November, I saw the difference when the money was going out. The big money. I saw that, man, there isn't much there isn't much volume, there isn't much manipulation, there isn't much price action. It's just like, price is just doing whatever it wants to do. So even though I'm so specific with my entries, because I'm trying to keep my entries as low risk as possible. So if I get a retest on the zone, because if you look at this gray area, you'll see that it gets respected all the time. Whenever price breaks below, it does a retest before it breaks. So we haven't really had a good retest on this zone before we drop. So that's what I'm waiting on. It's still Monday. So I'm gonna give it time to come for that retest. And also it's a raising wedge. It's a bearish type of pattern. So we'll just have to give it time to build up and gather as much liquidity as it can. I mean, you can see that this is 12 o'clock and just broke below the line. Let's see what it does. I'm not gonna take that entry because where will I put my stop loss? If I enter here, where would I put my stop loss? Above this this high? That's too obvious. And then it's a 1:2 entry or trade. My stop loss would be too obvious. I wouldn't want to do that. So I'll just wait. Let's just see what it does, because there's also a gap up here. If you can see it, there's a gap right here. So I still need a lot of price action up there before I'm convinced with the drop. So yeah, I'm still gonna have my entry somewhere here, because we need that retest, even if it's a spike, even if it's not a full blown retest and doesn't look as previous the previous one. Even if it's a spike, I'll take a spike and take that low risk entry, knowing that I'll ride it out till it gets to this point. And I'm gonna base my entry off of the previous retest. So my stop loss is gonna be somewhere here, because if it breaks this line and breaks this level to the upside, I understand that it's not one of these no more. It's just something totally different, right? So yeah, I'm waiting for this type of setup or this type of retest, even though it might not be like this exactly, but then a young spike to acknowledge this zone, and then I'll enter. And then another one is this AUD CAD. AUD CAD. See, I see that the pattern is complete, but I'm not about to fall for this. I always tell you that, guys, there's no manipulation, there's no crazy manipulation that's in the markets currently, but I still don't see myself falling for the lame ass patterns that I know that everybody is trading. Every retail trader entered this buy because it looks like a break and retest of a pattern, of a flag, or whatever you call this, right? I might trade the pattern, or the idea behind the pattern, but then the current move is a bait, right? A current move is a bait. I still need price to play around these areas, because that's where the support is. That's where the liquidity was found to make these highs right here. See, these highs were made from liquidity from see, all the liquidity came from this yellow. Let me make it yellow. This yellow support. So the fact that price is already making this move on a Monday, it's just too good to be true. I still need a young, you see this consolidation right here. This is what I need for me to enter this trade. This blue consolidation, I need something like this before I enter. And then the last touch on the support before it goes up, that's what I need. Because now I'm trying to keep my entries as low risk as possible. So I'll have my entry right here and stop loss below all the rejection tails of the previous candles that actually ended up pushing price to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at on the AUD CAD. The overall sentiment is bullish. I'm not gonna lie to you. We even broke above this red line. If you look at this red line, you'll see that it held as a good low resistance slash supply area. At some point it was even a well, a resistance, right? Supply area. At some point, it even held as a support above it. It was just like a mini support, even though it broke up, but it was well respected. Price broke above that line. So see, it's looking healthy on the 4 hour, but then we still need that we still need that the confirmation. The retest has to be a bit more intense before we enter this move, because it could really be a crazy move to these lands or even the black line. So at most, I'm targeting the next red line. What does it look like? Okay, the resistance. Like this is where price reversed the last time to go to make these lows. So it definitely holds some significance. We'll see what price does. Still early, still Monday. There's still gonna be a lot of price action. It might be a whole nother pattern, a whole nother retesting pattern around this area before price goes to the upside, because it's a huge move for price to make, and it's gonna require that that liquidity, that back and forth with the buyers and sellers who are seeing different things in the markets. That's where the liquidity is gonna be obtained from. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. AB CAD. As for the GBP CAD, what am I looking at again? Okay, this is one of those setups where you think, okay, I've never traded anything like this, but with the psychology and the experience I've gathered in the markets, you think you know what's gonna happen. The higher high and higher low wave is still holding, still valid. Price tried to break, but then it clearly price tried to break the higher low, but then clearly uh came back. It was clear, it was a clear fake out. So the higher low is still holding, right? So we still have that bullish sentiment. But the liquidity to go to the upside to complete or to make new highs. I mean, the new highs were made, but then to now continue with the sentiment to the upside, to the black line. Let me see what the black line represents again. Let's go to the daily so that it's closer. Oh, it's a resistance. These are the highs that made the most previous lows. So, and there's also like another range. So it's this resistance might hold, but then now there's a greater one. You understand? So the potential to the upside is pretty much looking good and healthy. And yeah, obviously we're gonna need some liquidity for that. So if there's any buyers at around this point, the liquidity that is around this point, I mean, there's a lot happening here. The liquidity is not enough to now make the highs that we are looking for, right? So what's gonna happen is, I know some way, somehow price has to now come look for liquidity around this area for buyers to finally come into the market. Even though, like, I don't know, I'm counting on people that I just said are not in the market. So I don't know. This is new to me. I never trade during December, so this is just like new to me, and I'm learning. This is an experience. If you're watching, especially until this point, you're also like learning something. Or if you can put me on game onto how I can maneuver my psychology and my analysis, my analogy on what's happening currently, the current market conditions with big money being absent. How do I maneuver that? Because as much as I think I see that, okay, there's no money, I still have to find a way to trade. I need to adapt to different market conditions. So if you have an idea, or if you have a clue of how I can maneuver through that, just let me know. But then as for this setup, I don't even know what to call it, but then I'll be satisfied if price comes down to this area, because look at what price did here, right? There's definitely something around this high low area that still has to be retested. Like that clean touch before that's what I'm expecting. So if obviously there's buyers, because price is currently making bullish candles. There's probably buyers who are trading this. You'll be surprised. So with the buyers, like with the traders like this currently in the market, obviously this would be perfect for them. Break and retest of the trend line. Their stop losses are here. I'm still employing the same analogy that I always employ under normal market conditions. Let's see if it holds, because I don't want to be all over the place, man. Even though like I still have to adapt to what's currently happening, but you know, I'm a bit cheeky with my analogy and my analysis. So there's liquidity here of the stop losses of the buyers who entered the break and retest. So I don't know. Soon as price comes around this area and it drops, obviously there's also like a trend line. We have 1, 2 touches on the trend line. We've had 3 touches now. Even though it was a fake out, we still acknowledged the touch to say, okay, there was buyers waiting by the trend line, and they were filled, even though maybe most of them got stopped out because this looked like a sell. At some point, you know, sellers were triggered, all the stop losses were up here. So that's the liquidity that pushed the market a bit further to the upside, because there was obviously sellers who traded the breakout of this line. So, but then besides their stop losses, where does the liquidity to go up come from? You know, we have the new buyers who are trading this trend line, or whatever you might want to call it, the break and retest of the trend line that they had here. All right. There's also something like this that I'm seeing. So there might be new buyers who are seeing all these small patterns, but then they might play out, because I mean it's only retail traders in the market right now. So patterns, I mean, funny looking patterns like this might hold. You might be surprised. They might hold, and you'll be surprised at how much, you know, liquidity actually is, how much liquidity is obtained from these type of patterns right here. So I mean, we have stop losses right here for the people who are trading the break and retest. Because you know, if you were to take a trade like this and take a buy here, it would be too good to be true. I mean, would you be comfortable? Answer in the comment section. Would you be comfortable being in this type of trade? I mean, let's say you enter on this retest right here. Would you be comfortable with the buys? And would you think this is a long-term move? No, because shit ain't sweet. Shit ain't never been sweet. So obviously you need to be taken out first. So, and that's when I'm trying to enter. So if that does not happen, you got it. You won. That's you. You understand? If I don't get the retest that I'm looking for, and you don't get stopped out if you entered here, that's good. You got it. You know, it's your time to shine. I mean, the smart money is not in the market. Not to say I'm smart money, but those are the people that that's the type of dynamic that I'm used to, and it has a lot to do with my edge and my strategy, because those are market conditions that are normal in my case. So let's see what happens. Don't be surprised when I tell you that I took this trade and it was beauty, because imagine entering that buy. I mean, I know the stop loss is crazy, 53 pips, but man, the upside of it is also insane, because we are in this bitch. Like, new highs are already made. We just need like a follow-up move to certify these highs. Obviously, this wave is certified by these highs, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? It's almost like it's obvious that we're going to the upside. We just need to get the perfect entry. So yeah, that's all I'm looking at this week. I hate that this video is going to be long, but if I'm going to show you my journey, I might as well show you the type of ideas that I have, the trading ideas I have for the account, and like, where my headspace is at whenever I'm looking at the charts, especially taking my risk appetite into consideration, taking the capital that I have into consideration, the period of the year where I'm trading. That's also important. You take everything into account. The analysis is not just on the charts. You look at the money that is in the market. You look at everything, man. You look at the sentiment. You look at as a trader, you look at your current performance. Are you on a winning streak, losing streak? How do you approach the market? Is it good for you to trade right now, or are you forcing things? Are you trading something that is not there? We'll find out. As long as you manage your risk, you're good. I mean, at the end of the day, trading, you have to refine your skill almost every day. If you don't learn something new at least every week, uh, there's something wrong. You need to dig a little deeper. So yeah, that's all I have, guys. I'm sorry that I'm just chatting right now. I'm just talking a lot. But thank you for making it to this part of the video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment. Even though your comment is just like a W or L, just to have comments to say, okay, someone is watching. The algorithm will pick up that L, and we keep moving, we keep going, right? So yeah, appreciate you guys. See you next week. Thank you.